You are all here at a particularly challenging time for both passenger rail and freight rail in our country, but we have great promise for the future and investment. Amtrak is a central transportation provider for communities across the nation. From the Northeast Corridor to the Pacific Northwest, Amtrak connects rural and urban communities in an environmentally friendly way. Passenger rail burns 83% fewer greenhouse emissions than driving and up to 73% fewer emissions than flying. And Amtrak is facing historical challenges, but also opportunities, which can help Amtrak expand its services and help meet those passenger demands of the future. The railroad is still recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic, and its peak Amtrak ridership was down 97% due to COVID-19. Thankfully, ridership has significantly recovered from that point and is projected to be at 70% of pre-pandemic levels this year. However, Amtrak still struggles to restore routes where service was reduced during the pandemic. This includes the Amtrak Cascades route, which will have service partially restored from Seattle to Vancouver, British Columbia later this month, but it needs to be brought back to full pre-pandemic service levels. I can't tell you how important this is for the economy of our region. Additionally, the infrastructure law provided $66 billion investment in rail, with $22 billion going to Amtrak to purchase new rail cars and improve stations and upgrade tracks to enhance the passenger experience and improve reliability. Ensuring these funds are managed wisely will be the responsibility of Amtrak board nominees here today. Each nominee has a unique set of skills and experiences that will help guide Amtrak to meet the challenges of today and the future. The nominees before us today are Anthony Cochet. Am I saying that correct? Cochet, thank you, who has served on the Amtrak board since 2010 and is currently chair of the board. Mr. David Coposy, who is former director of U.S. Access Board and will ensure Amtrak is meeting its responsibilities to provide quality service to people with disabilities. Mr. Chris Coos, who was nominated for this role last Congress and currently serves as mayor of Normal, Illinois, which is served by Amtrak's Cardinal route. And Mr. Samuel Latham, who was the first African-American to be elected to the president of the Delaware State AFL-CIO and currently serves on the board of the Delaware River Bay Authority, and Ms. Robert Weissman, who currently serves as the executive director of the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. Lastly, Mr. Robert Primus has been renominated as the member of the Surface Transportation Board. This Surface Transportation Board provides critical roles in overseeing our freight rail industry, which is currently struggling with nationwide service issues caused by pandemic, issues of disruption, increased freight demand, and labor shortages. It is essential that our freight rail system become a resilient system able to meet the demands of today and the future. Freight shipments are expected to increase by 10% by 2030 and by 43% by 2050. However, at a time of increasing freight volumes, rail industry shipment volumes fell 3.2% in June of this year, in large part due to service issues. These service issues have impacted everyone from grain growers in my state, grain growers in the Midwest sending grain to the West Coast, to residents of Snohomish and Skagit and Island counties who struggle with shipping issues themselves. So the Surface Transportation Board has to work with the railroads to reverse these trends and to make sure that we have the staffing to make sure the system can deliver the services it is scoped to do. Thankfully, Mr. Primus has already proven himself to be an effective board member over the past 2 years and has worked to ensure that disputes between shippers and railroads are handled fairly and transparency while pushing the board to meet the rail industry's present-day challenges. So I look forward to hearing from all the nominees about the challenges we face in our rail transportation and meeting the needs of the American people. I'll now turn to my colleague, Senator Wicker, for his